Hello and welcome to Tuesday Live with Tyson, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I am going to talk just a little bit about the year end along with the market stats, where I think things are going within the real estate market, and just a couple other things, transactions, numbers, things of that nature that happened last year. Um, but I'll start out with talking a little bit about the real estate market. 2020 definitely was a crazy year. I think for me, and I think for a lot of realtors actually, we saw 2020, I would say back in March, I would have definitely thought that the market would slow and be potentially one of our worst years, right? But it ended up being a crazy good year. And, just with regards to the number of transactions, appreciation, and everything. So being in the real estate, working in real estate for the last 15 years or so, I definitely haven't seen a crazier year since I've been doing real estate. March, April really was slow. Obviously, we were on lockdown and a lot of people were complying, of course, at that time. And then May hit and the market just took off. So I wanted to do the year-end numbers in Temecula and Murrieta market. And the crazy thing is most of the nation saw similar numbers as we've experienced in the Temecula and Murrieta market. And so I wanted to share a couple of those slides with you and just talk a little bit about them. If I can, let me go ahead and get it up real quick. So bear with me just a second here. So first, what I wanted to talk about is just active listings. Let me get that up. So active listings, here we go. Essentially, is it sharing? Okay, here it is. See if you can see that okay. All right, guys, can you hear me now? Still? Oh dear.
Oh wait, there you are. Oh.
Okay, I'm back, or? All right, so sorry about that, guys. Looks like the audio went out for a little bit. Definitely shoot me a message if I'm rambling and you guys can't hear me. But here's the numbers. On over here on the side of me, you can see what essentially the inventory year over year. So we're talking, this is up through the end of December and of 2020 up through 2019 up to 2020. So over the last year, we've seen a decline with regards to
Yeah, do that instead. You can.
Wow. Okay, sorry guys. Let's see if this does the trick. It looks like it keeps cutting out. Um, is it good? Okay, sorry guys. It looks like I lose you guys when I go to full screen. So we'll just keep it on half screen. What I was going over is just inventory is down by about 50% year over year, essentially end of last year to end of this year. And as you can see on this screen, hopefully you can see it might be small, especially if you're watching on an iPhone or similar device. But I'll go ahead and explain it real quick. We are down, appreciation ranges from 10% all the way up to about 18%. And with the lack of inventory, the low interest rates, and just the sheer number of demand out there, most of our listings are seeing minimum handful, many of them 10, 15, 20 offers. We're expecting this coming year to be somewhat similar. So that property that currently is at 450,000, I think there's a very strong possibility within the next 6 to 8 months that 450,000, we're probably going to see increases somewhere in the ballpark of close to 10% in the next 6 to 9 months. And so 450, tag on another 45,000, that 450 home is going to be somewhere close to 500,000. And that's what we saw essentially this last year as well. And predicting that just based upon where the interest rate is, the current demand. Obviously, if you have 10 plus offers on a property, and only one person gets selected in terms of getting that acceptance on that property, there's still 9 more buyers out there hunting for property. We have a number of clients that we're working with, and on the buyer side, we're definitely experiencing that. And even on the listing side, we're just experiencing 10 plus offers on a lot of properties. So that is the state of the market right now. I won't share any more graphs because it seems to really cut me off my audio. So I'll just kind of go over a few of the other statistics that we saw here. But yeah, anywhere between 10 and 18%, and I expect something similar for this coming year. What that means is if you're on the fence and if you're thinking about buying a property, that you should it's definitely something to consider. It's better now than in 6 months, because 6 months you're probably looking at a good 30 to 40,000 more in terms of price. So something for you to definitely think about. And then also, if you are thinking of selling, it is a great market to sell. Is now a good time for you, or 6 months from now? I would say that obviously we're going to see a strong market continuing. I am expecting around 10 to 15% in most of that area. So, it really just what makes most sense to you. I think a lot of times people are always trying to sell at the peak, and essentially, I think we're up here in terms of the peak of the market. So it's really what makes the most sense for you in terms of timing. If you've got tenants that are vacating a property right now, then now may be a great time to sell. It's definitely a seller's market, and definitely getting high values. In most cases, even higher than at the previous peak. So we're seeing properties sell at record highs, all-time record highs in many cases. So just keep that in mind if you're a seller. You got to think what makes most sense for you. If you have the ability to wait a few months, wait a few months. But then again, if you're selling your owner-occupied property, you're going to be in similar position in terms of when you buy, whether it be today or 6 months from now. So just keep those things in mind when you're thinking about selling. You got to just really think about what makes most sense to you in terms of the market and stuff. So crazy market. So just wanted to share a little bit about that. Average days on market. I'll just bring that one up real quick. The average essentially is running around 18 to 20 days, but the reality is there's certain properties listed that skew that number. I think if you were to look at most properties, you're going to see between essentially within 5 to 10 days, most properties. But then there's a handful of properties that are going to skew this to make it closer to 18 to 21 days, average days on market. If you're looking for a house, you have, by no means can you wait a couple weeks to go see a property. This is not a market for the weak, or how should I say this? You have to be motivated if you want to buy in this market, and you have to be aggressive. If a house hits today, you've got to try to go see that today, tomorrow, as soon as possible. It's definitely not a market where you could sit around and hope that it's still going to be available the next weekend. And so average days on market, 18 to 20 days. That's ridiculous. It's usually 30, 40, 50, 60 days. So the fact that it's at 18 to 21 days in the area is pretty nuts. So anyway, I think you get the point. The market's hot. It's continuing to be hot. The market's continuing to do well. If you're thinking of buying, buy now rather than 6 months, especially if it's your primary property, because it's only going to go up from here, at least through these next 6, 9 months, year, possibly even longer than that. All in, that's what all the indicators show me, up to now. All right, guys, so that's a quick update on the real estate market. Another thing I wanted to share, and it's something that I try to share quite a bit, is with the new year, mindset is key. So I wanted to just talk really quick about mindset and the importance of mindset. One of the statistics I like to share, I read it somewhere recently, is 95% of millionaires, and I can't remember where I saw this, so how true it is, I'm not sure, but I think it is. 95% of millionaires set goals, and only 95%, how's it go? So 95% of people that are millionaires set goals, and only 5% of people set goals. Or 95% of people don't set goals, however you want to look at it. But that just essentially shows you the importance of planning, of setting goals. Because of the 95% that don't set goals, only about 5% of total millionaires, and not that wealth or making a lot of money or being a millionaire is objective number one always, but it tells you something, that if you're one of those 95% that sets goals and plans, you're much more likely to be successful financially, and I would say within any other facet of your life. It's important this new year that we set goals, set plans, and strive to do better, whether it be within your business or within your relationships, or anything else. It's just extremely important to be intentional, create plans, and really think about the ways in which you can improve your business. Think of ways that you can improve your relationships within your family, or your health, or anything else. And I think it's so important, and all those things really go hand in hand, to where if you're really working on yourself to be a better person, typically you're going to work on always doing better within your business. Typically you're going to always want to work on being healthier, have a better relationship, and so on and so forth. So I definitely want to encourage everyone, and it's a journey, guys. Like I think we all know that. In myself for sure, like it takes time. It's just little things that you focus on day in, day out, that you can do in order to improve yourself as a person or your business or anything else. And so I just wanted to share really quick just a little bit about my 2020 is I set a goal at the beginning of the year. I wish I had my little book with me. I'd love to share it. But essentially I broke it down to the 3 different areas in which I get almost all of my business. The year before I hit around, I believe it was 82 or 84 transactions. And this last year for 2020, I was able to hit 102 transactions. I was able to increase by, 18 more transactions. So end of 2019, I put together my little plan. Nothing super elaborate, but I went ahead and, number one, I analyzed all of the information from 2019. 2019. I broke it down. Where did all those transactions come from? For me, 50%, or roughly 50% of my business comes from past clients, current clients, sphere of influence, meaning people I know, repeat clients, and friends and family. That's 50%. So 50% of the 102 transactions came essentially from family, sphere, past clients, and so on and so forth. 25% came from our property management business. A lot of you know I have a property management business called Trillium Property Management, and we have about 250 properties that we manage here in Temecula and Murrieta. And so 25%, meaning roughly about 25 transactions, came from property management. That could mean tenants buying, or it could mean owners, landlords selling. And obviously, so that's my second source of business. And then the third source of business, about, again, 25%, comes from online presence, reviews, and social media. And those are my main three, where almost 100% of my business comes from those three different areas. I'm fortunate enough to not have to pay for leads, meaning Zillow leads, Realtor.com leads, or any of those type of leads, or even social media leads. I'm fortunate enough to where I don't have to spend money for those and still be able to hit numbers such as 102 transactions. The typical realtor does somewhere, I think the number's around 10 or 12 transactions, and I think that's even kind of hefty. So I'm able to do about 10 times the number of transactions as most realtors. And what I will say is something that's helped me year after year is breaking it down, analyzing those numbers, rather than focusing on an additional, type of funnel or another type of business or lead. I just focus on those three. I put a lot more time and energy, and at the end of each year, I analyze and I put together certain action plans. What can I do for my sphere, for my past clients? Whether it's giving away, like these Yetis right here that you see right here. That was our gift for our clients this year. We appreciate our clients, right? So we give that out and we make sure they understand. We reach out to all of them, let them know, hey, we have Yetis for you. That's your, Christmas gift. We're just wanting to give back. And then periodically we do giveaways, we do events and things of that nature. So when I'm planning at the end of the year, I'm thinking all of these things through. Typically, I don't come up with these things throughout the year. I come up with a plan at the end of the year. And the reason I share all of that is it's important, especially if you're in real estate, for you to do something similar. And everyone's going to have a slightly different way of coming up with a good plan. But once you get that plan together, it's extremely important to have all the details. So that way, once January comes by, February, March, and so on and so forth, you're just doing the things that you've set to do, not going in blindly and not sure what to do. You have a plan. And what ends up happening at the end of every year, I've been able to exceed or come very close to my goals, and because I have a very specific plan to follow, and I don't have to waste time on trying to think about it each and every week or each and every month, because I already know what I need to do in order to improve my business, and so I'm working on those things. So the reason for sharing that is it's the same with everything, right? Like if I want to create more wealth within, for my family, I need to each and every year, for sure, I would say even every month or so, you want to analyze where you're at financially, what debt do you have, what income do you have, How are you going to get more income? Do you have any passive income? Is there any sort of savings that you have that you can put into an asset that's going to bring you additional income? Like, you've got to really, if you want to improve your situation financially, you've got to really break it down and think about every little piece. How am I going to pay down my debt? How am I going to create more savings? I have savings. What am I going to do to use those savings in order to make more money? And you've got to be very intentional with all those things, which that's where, real estate comes into play again. It's obviously, within real estate, it's a great way to make additional money. Each and every year, you should be positioning yourself to create more and more passive income and create more and more wealth. The amazing thing about real estate, and I've shared this a few times, is real estate works for you while you sleep, right? So if you have $50,000 and you invest it in a property that, let's say the most recent purchases I've made are in Orlando, for around $200,000, you put down about 25% on this property, and you can cash flow between $500 and $800, really just depending on area and everything, but very realistic to cash flow $500 to $800. If you were to say, just let's be conservative, minus all expenses, let's say it's $500 that you're cash flowing on these long-term rentals. That's 10% cash on cash return, right? Can you get 10% in the bank? You might be able to get it, well, especially in crypto recently, but you might be able to get in the stock market. Last year was very good. But the great thing about real estate, it's extremely, it's a very secure asset that over the long term is always going to increase over the long term, right? And not only is it the cash on cash return, but you've also got tenants paying down your mortgage. Each and every month, that principal is getting beat down. And actually, very quickly, if you decide to use that $500 cash flow to go ahead and pay it down even quicker. And then on top of that, a year from now, you've got an asset that, let's say the rents go up $100. Oh, now you're cash flowing $600 rather than the $500. 10 years, down the road, maybe that's 500 more. Now you're cash flowing over $1,000, and at that point you owe less money. And so, anyway, great way to obviously create wealth and build wealth is obviously investing in real estate, and that's one of the things that I obviously love to share here on our live, is just the importance of really being intentional in anything that you do, whether it's your health, whether it's your business, your relationships. We all have the ability to always improve, and in my opinion, like, that's truly the whole reason to live, right? Like, we just want to be better, and whether it's our business, fitness, or anything else, we should always be striving to do better. So anyway, I don't want to ramble too much. Just wanted to mostly share the stats with you guys. The market's crazy. It's a great real estate market. If you're thinking of selling, or if you have any questions with regards to the market, feel free to reach out. Another thing is the whole wealth thing. I know I was talking more about just planning and setting goals and so forth, but if you, I truly want to see the people around me do better in terms of just creating greater wealth. So you're not working until you're until you die. It's important for us to think about those things and figure out how we can create wealth, because we don't want to be working until we're 80, 85. Like, we want to enjoy those years, enjoy that time with our family and things of that nature. And unfortunately, within society, not enough of us share how to create wealth. And it's really not as difficult as some of us may think. It's really just about being intentional with our time. Today, I actually followed up and contacted the guy who helped me buy a number of real estate investments for the long term. And there's multiple opportunities in other markets to where you can make 8, 9, 10% cash on cash. There's even other markets where you could even make more than that if you want to buy multi-units and things of that nature. So feel free to reach out to me. I seriously, like, these are other markets. I don't benefit in any way really financially. I want to do this more to just help others create wealth, because that end of the game, that's what's important. We don't want to all continue to just be hustling regardless of what job we do, for 20 years. And we look back 20 years later, whether we're selling real estate or we work for a 9 to 5 type of company, we don't want to be looking back and have nothing to show for it besides our next paycheck. That's not the way to live. Each and every year, we need to be creating sources and passive income, and that's why real estate is so great, and why I have such a passion for real estate, is because we have that ability to create income through real estate. I currently have, what is it, 6 investment properties, cash flowing over a few grand right now. And if I had done that 10 years ago, today I'd probably be looking, and just sticking with those 6 properties, today I would probably be at 7,000 plus. Now imagine if you got up to 10 properties, or imagine 20 years from now, that 3,000, fast forward 10 years from now, that 3,000, I guarantee you, is probably going to be around 5,000 to 6,000, assuming I don't buy a single property, any additional property. So that's a good 60,000 income per year. And at the same time, obviously, they're getting paid off. Eventually, those are going to be paid off, and you're going to be able to cash flow a lot more than that. So we've got to be mindful and think about those things. Guys, be intentional with your time, with your efforts, improve, strive to kill it with your business. I would love to see everyone just have an amazing 2021. Of course, there was a lot of negative, between politics and COVID and everything else of 2020. But if you keep that positive mindset, you work hard, you stay positive, and just strive to do better, be better, naturally, everything just flows, and you will be blessed, and you will find success in whatever you're striving to have success with. And that's all I want to share today, guys. I think I rambled way too much. I hate being the only one speaking on here. So I'm sure we'll get a guest for next week, but I appreciate you guys logging in. Oh, shoot. I didn't see that there were some questions, or maybe there's not. You can't hear me. Sorry, guys. I know there was an issue. But hopefully we don't have that issue next time. But I appreciate everyone jumping on. If you want to learn anything else about creating wealth in real estate, I'm happy to share the contacts I have and the people that have helped me purchase my properties. My goal is to continue to buy at least 2 properties per year, long-term real estate investments. I have other goals on the, within the stock market, 401k, to just continue to try to stay diverse. I think it's important for us all to be diverse. Happy to share any of that. Ideally, I just love to see people succeed, and I hope you all continue to succeed and just have the best 2021 ever. Mindset is key, guys. If you strive and to do better physically, go on your runs. I know we have our Temecula Valley Run 100 going on right now, and I'm just blown away by the number of people that are participating and striving to be a better you. If you can keep up with those habits and let those habits flow into other parts of your life, you will see more success in every aspect of your life. And I can guarantee you that. It's a marathon. Don't expect changes within a week. Don't expect them within a month. It's going to take multiple months, but I can guarantee you that as you create those great habits, you're going to see a lot more happiness and just a lot more success within your life. And again, it's not just financial success, but it's success in all parts of your life. So anyway, just want to share that, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So sorry for the audio issues, and have a good one. Hopefully I'll be on next week, chatting with someone else, so I'm not talking the whole time. All right, have a good one. Appreciate it. Bye.